Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a good Friday morning so far. And before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist or not, please feel free to reach out to me. If you're going to call, just send a text to the number and let me know that it's you and that you've been watching my videos for quite some time, and then I'll be able to help you out. If you just call me out of the blue and I don't know who's calling me, then I may just block the number just because I don't answer private or random numbers like that. So just leave a message, leave a text message just so that I know it's you and I know who I'm speaking with. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today, guys, is narcissists use the silent treatment to burn people out. Yes, narcissists do in fact use the silent treatment to burn people out. And we're going to talk about how that is, and we're going to talk about also three reasons why they do it. And we're also going to talk about how exactly it burns people out. So here we go. So narcissists, they use the silent treatment. Silent treatment is one thing that you don't want to experience from a narcissist, because when they're giving you the silent treatment, they know exactly what they're doing. They know why they're giving you the silent treatment as well. And they know that when they give people the silent treatment, that people are gonna do one or both, one or two or both of these things. Narcissists know that when they give people the silent treatment, that those people will either start explaining themselves, or they will either apologize for something that they never did, right? And narcissists know this because they know that they've done this so many times before and they get the same result every time. And so they know that when they give people the silent treatment, it can burn them out. So those are two things. So other things that we want to keep in mind too is that the reason why narcissists give the silent treatment now, pay very close attention here because this is very important. Number one, they give people the silent treatment because they want to avoid accountability, right? Narcissists know exactly what they're doing 24/7, 365 days a year, every hour of the day. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that they cheat. They know that they lie. They know that they steal. They know that they deceive. And they know that they do these things, all these things to many different people at once. That's why I tell people the way to heal from narcissistic abuse is to understand that you are not alone, that you're not the only one that the narcissist that you were dealing with was abusing. You're not the only one. They were abusing a lot of other people. But the thing is that narcissists, remember, they lie. They also lie by omission. And what lies by omission is, for anybody who doesn't know what that is when the narcissist lies, when the narcissist tells you something, when the narcissist is hiding something from you, but then they tell you that very thing that they did, but then they say, I didn't tell you because I knew that you would feel this way or do this or do that. That's lies by omission, because they know that it's a lie, but they want to cover it up, that it like it's not a lie. It's part of the way that they deceive people, right? And so that's one thing. The second reason why narcissists give this out treatment. So we talked about accountability. They want to avoid accountability. They want to not be accountable for the things that they're doing. The second reason why narcissists give the silent treatment is because they want control. They want to control their victims. They want their victims to cower down to them, so that the victims, like I said before, the victims, they so that they start explaining themselves, right? And when people start explaining themselves to the narcissist, that's how the narcissist knows inside their devilish mind that they've won, because they feel as though they get satisfaction from seeing people explain, when really there's nothing for them to explain at all, when the narcissist knows that they caused it. But narcissists won't apologize because they feel justified in everything that they do. They feel like the world owes everything to them, even though they do absolutely nothing they don't do anything to get the things that they ask for, right? Whereas me and you, empaths, you watching my video, and if it's your first video, thank you so much for being here. We work hard for the things that we want. We are honest, we are genuine, we are authentic. We take the high road. Even when no one's looking, we do the right thing, right? But narcissists know, and narcissists know that about you guys. They know that about me. They know that about you. They know that. But the thing is that narcissists don't want to give people satisfaction, right? Because they want to feel in control. They want to feel powerful. They want to feel as though they matter, right? And when narcissists don't matter, that's when they start losing their power. That's when they start losing control. That's why at the ending of relationship with a narcissist, what tends to happen is that when they see that their victims don't want anything to do with them, when they see that their victims are becoming quiet, they're starting to not talk to them as much, not returning texts as much. That's why narcissists, they want to, what they'll do is they'll try to restart the cycle again. Remember I talked about in one of my videos the abusive cycle, love bomb, and then devaluation, then discard, and then sometimes they'll hoover to check in on you. They'll start this cycle over again because they know that when they do that, then they can control you again. They want to see if they still have control over you. It's not to see if you still like them. It's not for them to try to get into a relationship with you. It's far from that, because narcissists know what they're doing. They know that it's worked with some other people in the past that cower down and say, okay, I'm sorry. And then the narcissist says in their mind, yep, got this one again. I know this one's not going anywhere. So that's another thing, right? The third reason why narcissists give people the silent treatment is because the third reason why narcissists give the silent treatment is because what they want to do when they give people the silent treatment is they want people to work hard. They want people to keep trying to figure out what exactly they did, right? They want people to go crazy. That's the third reason why, is because they want people to go crazy, right? They want people to think that there's something wrong with them, right? Whether it's a health concern, whether it's the way that they look on the exterior, whether it's something to do with their personality, right? Then they start going to, see therapists and psychiatrists and all this stuff, and doctors to see and set up appointments to ask their doctor if there's something wrong with them. And narcissists know what they're doing. That's the thing. They want people to go crazy, right? And so when you're going crazy, right, the narcissist is sitting back watching that, and they're inside their head, they're laughing at you because they know that they're not just doing that to you at that time. They're doing it to many other people who are in the same abusive cycle as you are, right? But the thing is, they won't tell you that because they don't want you to know who they are, right? That's part of their deceptive plan, their devilish plans, their devilish games, that they don't want people to know who they are, because then it would ruin their game. It would ruin their illusion, right? That's why when people start figuring out who they are, that's why narcissists start ghosting people and start spending less time with their victims, because they see that their illusion is being shattered, that people are starting to see through them, and it scares them. It makes them scared because they know that they can only keep up the fakeness for so long, right? There's only a matter of time before you find out. The longer you stay in the game, the easier it is for you it's just a matter of time before you get caught, right? And so when they're doing that, when they're giving you the silent treatment, you start going crazy. You start saying to the narcissist, did I do something wrong? And then they continue to give you the silent treatment, and then you'll keep asking, did I do something wrong? Can we talk about this? And then maybe what you do, and you don't even know you're dealing with the narcissist yet until you've seen this video, what you do is that you go and you start saying, I'm so sorry for whatever I did. Could I make it up to you? Can I take you out for dinner? And then maybe when you say that, the narcissist says, yes, let's go out for dinner. Or they shake their head at you, or they start smirking at you. Like that, something like that. I'm not a narcissist, so I can't do the smirk, but they do something like that. That's how my ex-wife would smirk at me, and she would sort of, give me the evil stare and all that stuff. But anyways, what I'm saying is that maybe they say yes, or maybe you want some one-on-one time with them, and maybe they say yes, and then guess what could happen? What could happen is that it's set up. You guys are set up to go out for dinner, and then the day of that time, the time of that dinner, guess what happens? The narcissist is either a no-show, or you say, we're going out for dinner, and then they say, no, we're not going out for dinner, and then you're just like, but we said we were going out, and then they say, no, I didn't agree to that, and then now they're gaslighting you, right? Now you're going to explain yourself more, right? And then now it turns into an intentional argument before you guys even go out. And while that argument's going on and you're yelling and screaming at them, now they're just standing there watching you, and maybe they even record you. They get their phone out and they record you to make it look like you're crazy. They probably send it to the authorities, and then you probably get falsely arrested or falsely accused of something you never did, right? So narcissists, they do this on purpose, right? And narcissists know that silent treatment is deadly, right? Because when you're in your own house, or when you're dealing with a narcissist, it doesn't even have to be romantic or in your own house. It could even be within your family, or it could be at work, or it could be in the church, or it could be somebody you just met. And for some reason, this person's giving you the silent treatment. They're not talking to you. Now, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Now, I'm not trying to say that everybody that doesn't talk to somebody, when they're in the vicinity of them and they just don't speak to them is a narcissist. That's not what I'm trying to say, because even me, myself, when I'm around some people, well, it's different for me and some other people because we know what narcissism is, and we know when we are in the presence of evil. We know when we're in the presence of a narcissist. And so sometimes the person who's a narcissist will say something, and then we'll just shake our heads and we'll just go like that, or we'll just see them, or and acknowledge them, and just do that, and just move on. But that's not necessarily the silent treatment per se. We're acknowledging them, right? But the thing is that, see, the narcissist, they give the silent treatment to disrupt your energy, to mess with your head, to make you feel like you're crazy, right? You, on the other hand, you acknowledge them, but you just don't speak to them, right? It's totally different. And if you want to talk to me more about it, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to explain it all out. And I can't do it for the sake of this video because it would be too long of a video. But anyways, what I'm saying here, guys, is that when the narcissist is giving you the silent treatment, what that means also is that they are doing something behind your back that they don't want to tell you that they're doing it. And what I mean by that is that they could very well be cheating on you behind your back with somebody, and they give you the silent treatment. Think about this. Hold on. Think about this. When you're at work, okay, and let's say you witness that somebody's about to get fired or let go. Usually what happens is that people are giving that person who's getting let go the silent treatment, because they know that that person is about to get put into the boss's office and they're about to get terminated, right? And so people stay away from that person and give them the silent treatment, right? Because they know what's going to happen. And see, the narcissist is the same way. Now, I'm not trying to say every boss is a narcissist, although many of them are. But what I'm trying to say is that with narcissists, they give the silent treatment because they know exactly what is going to happen. They know that they're cheating on you. They know that they're smear campaigning. They're running your name through the mud and telling flat out lies about you, about things you never did. And they're doing that, and that's why they give these are some of the reasons why they give the silent treatment. And it can be deadly because it can actually tire you out, right? Because you're trying to, and then what can even happen is that you start taking medications, right? You start going on medication. You start staying up late to try and figure out what the heck is wrong with you. Like, you start thinking to myself, is there something wrong with me? You probably check into rehab to try and get answers to figure out what the heck is going on, to no avail, because the narcissist won't tell you, because they want to see you go crazy. They could give you the silent treatment for a whole month, right? They could give you the silent treatment for days on end and you still won't get any answers. Right? So here's what I'm going to say, and here's what I'm going to suggest to anybody who experiences the silent treatment. I'm going to suggest two things. The first thing is to recognize that when the narcissist is giving you the silent treatment, that's when you figured out that they're a narcissist. Now, I'm not trying to say, everybody that gives you the silent treatment doesn't talk to you is a narcissist. That's not what I'm trying to say, right? What I'm trying to say is that when you figured out and deduced that somebody is in fact a narcissist, when they're giving you the silent treatment, here's two things that I advise you to do. Number one, first thing first, is to understand that it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. And I did that because I meant zero right here. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that you're dealing with a person who is unstable in their mind. You're dealing with a person who is a master manipulator. You're dealing with a person that's trying to gaslight you to make you lose your sense of reality, to make you go crazy, right? You're dealing with a person who wants to shift the blame onto you in a very passive aggressive manner without even sitting down like a normal adult and saying, "Hey, we need to talk. Let's talk about this." That's how a normal adult, a normal, healthy, stable person, takes accountability. But narcissists won't do that. So, number one, understand that it's not your fault. The second thing I'd advise you to do, right, especially if you're dealing with a covert malignant narcissist, because covert malignant narcissists, the thing with these narcissists is that what they'll do is they will do this, but then they might even fight you out of nowhere. They might knock you out of nowhere because covert and malignant narcissists are very unpredictable. Now, all narcissists to a degree are all unpredictable because you never know where you stand with them, and even when they're with you, you still don't know where you stand, right? But what I'm saying is that covert malignants, they switch from being physically violent to being passive aggressively violent in that degree, right? So you ought to be careful with with that type of narcissist, right? And so the second thing that I would suggest you do is to start writing things down on paper, right? Start to jot things down, the times and the dates and the places that you're in, so that you have a paper trail. Now, obviously, keep this paper trail close to you and with you. Don't leave it out in the open, because the narcissists, they're very observant as well, and they know when somebody is catching on to them. They'll become paranoid and start looking through your things to see if you have anything on them, right? So keep that with you, right? But start making a paper trail. Start writing down the dates and times of things. Start noticing the unpredictable behavior. And then what you do there when they're giving you a silent treatment is, to the best of your ability, start living your best life. Start doing things that you enjoy, whether that's going out for walks, whether that's going out for runs, whether it's going out with your friends, whether it's doing whatever it is you're doing, whether it's reading, whether it's playing games, I don't know, whatever it is that you enjoy, playing sports or whatever it is, start doing those things. Why? It's because what happens when the narcissists give you the silent treatment is that it actually distracts you from living your life. But the thing is that now that you know that it has nothing to do with you, right? Now you can start living your best life. And this will actually hurt the narcissist. It'll cause a narcissistic injury to them, because they'll see that their ego just got a hit because you are living your best life. And narcissists don't like seeing their victims living their best lives, because it makes them angry. It makes them upset to see that their victims are pulling away from them, because they constantly need the satisfaction of having their victims on the hook, knowing that they have control over their victims. And once they see that control start slipping, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, then that's when they start getting paranoid and scared, because they don't like losing control of people, right? So what I would say is that keep those two things in mind, right? Know that it's not your fault, that it has nothing to do with you. And second thing is, start living your best life. Start enjoying yourself. Start doing the things that you enjoy, right? Start spending less and less time with them, because then, then the because remember what I said earlier, narcissists always know who's catching on to them and who's not catching on to them, right? They know when somebody's pulling away. Their demonic spirit energy knows when somebody is pulling away. They know when somebody's waking up and starting to do things that they enjoy, and not giving the narcissist any attention, right? So keep these things in mind, right? But just understand that the silent treatment is very deadly, right? It can actually make you yourself become paranoid as well. Then you start becoming paranoid, thinking, is someone out to get me? Did I do something to deserve something like this? And then you're starting to second guess yourself. Then you start, becoming depressed. It can actually put you in depression as well, and anxiety, right? Because then you become anxious and scared that maybe you're the problem, right? Maybe, and then you start getting depressed, thinking that you're not good enough for the person that's a narcissist, whether it's your parent that you've been trying to please all your life, whether it's one of your siblings that you've been trying to do good by all your life, maybe it's your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your husband or your wife, and you feel like you're not good enough. You start looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what about me has changed? Am I skinny? Am I fat? Am I looking different? Like what's wrong with me? And then you start second guessing yourself. You start losing your mind. But just know that it has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you. And I experienced the silent treatment quite a few times. Now, my ex-wife, she wasn't the best at giving the silent treatment, right? Because many times when she would give me the silent treatment, I simply would just ignore her, right? I would simply just live my best life, do all the things that I enjoy, and then she would cower over to me and she would say, babe, we need to talk. And then I would just say, what do you want from me? And then I would just continue to move on as if nothing happened, because I came from that. And in fact, I said it before that, my mom, who's a narcissist, she was probably better than my ex-wife at giving the silent treatment. She could give me the silent treatment for a whole entire day, right? And I'll just become accustomed to it, knowing that had nothing to do with me, right? And then after maybe a week or so, after maybe some time, she would just eventually start talking again. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the silent treatment, it has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong. Don't think for a second that you did anything wrong, right? That's what the narcissist wants you thinking in your mind, that you did something wrong. They want you doubting yourself. That's how the silent treatment gaslights you to think that there's something wrong with you. And this is what narcissists thrive off of. Remember what I said in many of my other videos, that narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. That's their recipe, right? Chaos, confusion, and control. When they're giving you the silent treatment, they're causing chaos, silent chaos. And that's what the covert narcissist does the most. They give the most silent treatment than other narcissists. Now, all narcissists give the silent treatment. But what I'm saying is coverts, they're very sneaky. That's what you have to understand about the difference between coverts and the others, is that they're very sneaky. They work under the radar, and they're very calculated and sneaky in everything that they do. So chaos, the silent treatment causes chaos, where it's a silent chaos where you're in a state of not knowing what the heck is going on. And then the second thing, causes confusion. Now you're confused. You don't understand why they're giving you the silent treatment, and you're trying and now you're doubting yourself, right? That's confusion. And then control. Now they know that when they cause the confusion and the chaos, now they know they have control over you, right? You want to take that away. You don't want them to control you. You don't want anybody to control you, right? Nobody should be controlling anybody. Now, I know someone out there is gonna come at me and say, well, Paul, in marriage, the man is the head of the household, and that means he has control over everything. Well, that's not necessarily true. And when the man is supposed to be the head of the household, it doesn't mean that he's being controlling. I don't know where the heck people get this from. It's just ridiculous. But he's not supposed to be controlling. He's supposed to be your husband. He's supposed to lead. He's supposed to take care of you. He's supposed to, respect you for who you are. He's not supposed to be controlling you. Just because he's in charge doesn't mean that he's controlling you, right? It means that he's doing his duty as a husband to protect and to make sure that his family is secure with him, right? So I needed to explain that, because there's people going around saying that, and that's just nonsense, okay? But anyways, I just wanted to clear that up for y'all about narcissists giving the silent treatment, that it's very deadly and it's very dangerous, right? So make sure that you do these things I mentioned, the two things. Make sure that you understand it has nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong, right? And the second thing is, again, I'm just reiterating just so that you guys know and so that you guys understand what it is I'm saying, right? And the second thing is that start living your best life. Start doing the things that you enjoy, because you shouldn't have to sit there and wait for a grown adult to have a conversation with you. That's ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing ever. Don't sit there and try to justify a grown adult giving somebody else, the silent treatment when they did absolutely nothing wrong. If somebody did something wrong, then you should sit them down and have a conversation with them and say, hey, I don't feel like I feel like you were not treating me respectfully, or I don't like what you did here or there. And then you guys sit down like people, and then you guys come to an agreement and say, okay, I'll meet you halfway, or I'll stop doing this, or I'll stop doing that. And then you guys figure it out from there. None of this nonsense where people are giving people a silent treatment. It's nonsense. That's what narcissists do, because they're too afraid. They have too much fear within them. They live based off of fear. Everything about the narcissist comes from a place of fear. All the decisions that they make come from a place of fear. All the manipulation tactics, all the narcissistic abuse tactics that they do, it's all coming from a place of fear, because they're doing it because they're afraid, right? They're afraid of losing because they don't want to lose in life, right? Now, to some degree, we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose in life. But what I'm saying is that it's different with narcissists because they don't want to lose, but if they lose, then they'll do anything they can to, whether it's stepping on somebody, to get what they want, they will do that. Right? Whether it's throwing somebody under the bus and making up false stories and lies, false accusations against them, and then getting them arrested, they will do that if it suits their image, if it makes them look good, right? That's the difference between a narcissist and a psychopath, is that narcissists and psychopaths, narcissists are very close to psychopaths, but the difference between the two, and I think I talked about this briefly in one of my videos, I'll talk about it here again, is that psychopaths, they thrive off of power and they have zero remorse. These are the people that will burn down people's houses, or they will even kill animals and start smiling, or they will smirk and they will kill you, like try to physically kill you, and they'll start smiling. Like, that's what psychopaths do, right? And they have no remorse at all. Narcissists, on the other hand, they do things based on their image, right? It's more for image with the narcissist. If it serves their image, they will do it. If it doesn't, then they probably won't do it, or they'll do it in a different way in which they'll try to get some payoff from it, right? So I hope that you guys understand what I've said. So thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Like I said before, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is in fact a narcissist, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said before, if you want to call, please send the text to the number I've said and let me know your name and let me know that you would like some help and that you've been watching my videos, and that I'd be more than happy to help you. Okay? So guys, thank you so much for being here today. Please watch the podcast. The link to the podcast, it's 2 parts that I spoke on about my narcissistic experience. Also, like, subscribe, share, comment down below if you can relate to what I'm talking about. If you know somebody who, if you yourself are dealing with someone who's giving you the silent treatment and you know you did something wrong, please drop comments below. Share it with the community so that more people can see, more people can benefit and understand, how to go about these situations, because this is happening every single day, everywhere, to everybody, everywhere. Whether it's at work, whether it's in families, whether it's in marriage, whether it's in relationships, whether it's on vacation, this is happening everywhere. But the thing is that people just don't know what to do or how to handle it. And I just gave you some helpful tips that will help you to decipher and how to deal with this type of behavior. All right. So guys, thank you so much again for joining me here. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, have a good day. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much.